Hi friends, it's Christina here from C.U.Online, and today I want to go over niches and how you can specifically find your own niches that you can rank high for and make sales even as a beginner. So many people comment on my TikTok or comment on my YouTube videos that print on demand is oversaturated, so you can't be successful in this space anymore. And that is simply not true. It's just because everyone's going for the obvious. If it's the first niche that came to your mind, it's going to be the first niche that came to everybody's mind. So in this video, we're going to go over how you can find your own niches that even as a beginner, you can make sales and rank high for. So we are going to break this into steps so that you can funnel from idea all the way to proof that this niche may work. So to start, I want you to grab a piece of paper. I want you to write down everything you love, everything you do, maybe even your career. I want you to write down what you studied, what you work in, what do you eat every day? What is a hobby that you love? What sports do you play? Pretty much every niche that you can think of. And this can literally range from super obvious to super niche. It can be that you love to drink boba tea on the weekends. And to further this out even more, you can even think outside of yourself and think towards like friends or families. What jobs do they have? What do they do? What do you know them for? Do they love photography? Is that their thing? Write down photography as a niche idea. And I want you to have this list, and I want it to be as long as possible, as much as you can think of different niches that you relate to and perhaps would like to design for. Some more examples of ones that I'm talking about. This thing can be like working in accounting. I would write down accounting. If you love ramen, I would write down ramen. If you love the city, New York, I would write down New York and just keep going. So once you have this list all figured out, we're going to go into validating these niches to see if they're even worth testing. So to do that, we are going to need an Etsy research tool. And the one that I like to use for specifically for finding niches is eRank. eRank pulls data based on the past 12 months of historical data of searches on Etsy. None of these Etsy tools are 1,000% accurate. Etsy doesn't share every single bit of their data, but I have had the best luck using eRank to validate my products and my niche ideas. So I'm going to show you how I do this. So make sure you have your list ready for this. So opening up eRank, to get some of the information that we are going to need that I am going to show you here, this is with an upgraded plan. To start, maybe what you could do is just grab an upgraded plan for the month, validate all your products, and then maybe you could turn it off if you prefer. I actually really like using eRank, so I pay for it monthly. I think I even paid for an annual subscription for this just because I found it so helpful. There is a free version, but you are going to be missing some of the data that I find pretty important. I believe you cannot see how many competitors are trying for this keyword, which is a big thing that I look like. So I would consider checking that out. So let's start with one of our products from our niche list that we had created. So we talked earlier about boba. Boba lovers, I actually don't love boba, but every single one of my friends does. So this was actually on my list. And I actually have not researched this yet. So let's look into this. So if you are doing print on demand, this doesn't mean that you're doing shirts, but I'm going to use shirts as an example. So I'm going to look up boba shirt. We're going to get the keyword statistics right here. So you can see average searches, 296, Etsy competition, about 5,000. This is actually a very, very good niche. I look for anything with searches at least over 20 searches. I find my sweet spot is at least around like 90 to 100 searches. And you want to make sure that the Etsy competition is low. If a product has like 20 to 100 searches, I do look for competition like very low in the thousands. But for almost 300 average searches and only 5,000 competition, this is great. I look for things that have this in the green, and you can see here how it's broken down a little bit more. We even have adult boba shirt, which has even a little bit less competition. So you can even use this as another keyword with the same shirt that you just had designed. So I would highlight this. I would get a highlighter or create a secondary list, and I would write, this is good for designing. So I would add this to my to-do list because it has a decent amount of searches and a green bar when it comes to how much competition there is. And maybe we're not only just doing t-shirts as well. What if you want to put this also on a sweatshirt? Or maybe you don't even want to do t-shirts at all. We just want to go right to sweatshirts. You can search up boba, actually not up here, sorry. Up here, boba sweatshirt. And let's see if this gives us some better results or if no one searches for it. So look at this. This is even better. So a boba sweatshirt has 400 average searches. So it's actually searched more than the t-shirts, yet it has way less competition. So if you made a boba shirt design or just like a boba design, I would be putting this on a sweatshirt 1,000%. And then maybe even as a separate listing, then have a boba t-shirt. Then you can just have two listings, make two separate listings with two separate searches using your one design. So now that we have one validated, almost two validated products because you have a shirt and a sweatshirt, you're going to keep going down the list. Make sure you noted this one so you remember to come back to it. But say you wanted to do a mom shirt. That was in your list of things that you love, things maybe that you relate to. Maybe you're a mom. So mom shirt. So we're going to see here, great, there's a lot of searches, but look at this red bar. That red bar is something we do not want. That is telling you that there is so many pages. What are the chances that you are going to rank high against a million other people doing the exact same thing? Granted, a lot of people are just throwing in this keyword for a lot of different things. Using rate SEO, you can outrank many people, but you're not going to beat close to a million, not with mom shirt. But what I love about eRank is finding what I call sub niches. So for a mom shirt, we shouldn't really be doing just a mom shirt. It's too unspecific, too much competition, but we can scroll down and find some sub niches that are way better for us. So we're going to see right here, dance mom shirt has tons and tons of searches still, way less competition than just a mom shirt. Senior mom shirt, cheer mom shirt. I love this one that I came, a spider mom shirt. What are the chances you would have thought of that without eRank? Probably very slim. I would go down this list and keep adding to your brainstorm. You can either create a new list, things you found, or just keep adding to your list you had created and write down all these new validated niches and maybe highlight the ones that you want to design for. Maybe there's some in here that you don't really care for, but at least it could be an idea later down the line. But make sure you take note of these. Now, after you've gone through your list, you've highlighted what could work, and you've added in some new sub niches, we need to go do some customer research or some competitor research on these actual products so we understand what is selling. So then we're going to come back to Etsy and we're going to search our now picked out niches to see what is selling in those niches to see if we can compete. So to use our boba sweatshirt example, I brought that up and we're going to use an Etsy extension, either Allura or Everbee. I actually usually use Allura, but they actually seem broken today. So I'm going to use Everbee, which I also use. They kind of do the same thing. They're just kind of different UI. So coming on over to Everbee, I am going to use this button here, Product Analytics. And it's going to bring me up all the stats for boba shirt and which ones are actually getting sales, which is going to be super helpful for us to think of when we're designing. What we're not going to do is copy the top sellers. We're not going to copy any of these, but we're going to study why they sell, where's the placement on the shirt, what other keywords are they using, because you want to understand what these customers are buying before you start blindly designing. So now that this is loaded, one thing I don't actually pay attention is to their average monthly sales because I don't think it's accurate because you can see right here, this boba shirt already sold 48 times this month. So this average monthly sales is very off, and I've noticed this across all sales. With Everbee, I currently am on the free plan, so you can do this as well. One limitation is you can't sort by total sales. If you did pay for the Everbee extension, then you can. But I'm just going to use this. I'm just going to scroll. We can see here this one. This boba shirt sold 828 times. It sells 48 times in a month. That is crazy. So I'm going to go click into this and I'm going to study it. It is a corner pocket shirt of a boba cup with a cat on it. In fact, going through that list, a lot of them were just a little picture of boba as a corner pocket. So if you can draw and make your own version of a boba cup, you can also go on to Creative Fabrica and see if you can find a boba cup on there that is allowed for print on demand usage and apply it to a shirt. Don't steal or trace someone else's design. That is illegal and they can have it taken down. Create your own version of this shirt. But this is an extremely easy niche that I think you can rank high in. After this video, there may be a few new people in this space. So I would try to think of similar niches around boba. Don't copy exactly what I'm saying either. Get creative. Do what no one else is doing. Some other things you want to look for when you are doing this competitor research is, again, going through the top sellers and seeing if there's any designs that you're like, I can make that better. If it is just a funny phrase that is not copyrighted, up here you can watch my video on how to check if certain phrases are actually copyrighted or trademarked. If it is just an open saying, like a funny joke, like a boba joke or an accounting joke, you can make a shirt on it. And if someone has like this really bad font and you think you could remake that shirt a lot better, then you have the right to go ahead and do so. Again, as long as it's not a copyrighted term and as long as you are not stealing this person's design. Don't be copying their titles. Don't be copying their tags. Do your own mock-ups, do your own design, and then you can probably do better than them if you're able to make a better design than them. Okay, so now we have a list of niches. We have a list of validated niches. We have new sub-niches that we can design in. We've done competitor research and confirmed that we can design pretty easily in these niches and still succeed. They're not that complicated. Design doesn't have to be that complicated, especially on shirts or sweatshirts or many different print-on-demand products. In fact, over-designing may work against you. I like to keep it simple, and simple sells. But with all your list of niches, you aren't just going to do one. In fact, even though you've done some research and validated it, not every single one of your designs is going to sell. Not every single one of your niches is going to sell. What you want to do is you want to spend quite a bit of time testing out all of these new niche ideas. We validated it, but testing is different. It could be different in reality for your store. So you're going to make a few designs within each of these niches. You're going to spend some time, try to get up like 5 to 10 designs in each niche, and then give it some time. Once you start getting favorites, once you start getting sales, you're going to see which of these niches is becoming profitable for you. And then you are going to hone into that. So maybe you tested 10 of these, but you notice only 2 niches are actually selling for you. Take over these niches. Do more similar ones to this. Use the same keywords. If you're ranking high for that niche, change your focus back from testing a bunch of niches to honing into those ones that you now have proof that they worked for you. Keep designing in that niche until you've maxed it out, then go back to the testing phase. I did this. I started with so many different niches, and now I have about 3 or 4 that I mostly stick with. I do have a few other niches that I sell sporadically in, but there's about 3 that I make consistent sales in. And when you search them up, I am majority of those searches now because I found that those are working for my store. And I did as many designs as possible to just take them over to take up all of those monthly sales if possible. And don't worry about having too many niches in your store. I always tell people on Etsy, you want to niche down on either your product or your niches. So if you say had a wedding themed shop, then you can do many wedding themed products. But if you had a general apparel store or a general sweatshirt store or a general wall art store, you can do many niches within that product. So for this example, this would be a general apparel store where if you're doing t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, tank tops, whatever you want to do, but you're going to be testing many niches on these products. So a lot of your keywords are going to tie together that you are a clothing store, but you have many niches. People find your store on Etsy by individual listings more so than your storefront. In fact, people don't search storefronts really. They'll find you through one of your individual listings, and then they'll go into your store from there. And actually, Etsy will show them more relevant products on your front page to what they clicked into. So say they clicked into your store through this boba shirt, they're going to show you all your other related boba shirts first on your storefront. So that's super helpful as well. Okay, guys, that is everything that I have for today. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you have made your lists and you're feeling a little bit optimistic now about actually creating your products and finding niches. Remember, Christmas, nurse, mom shirts. As a general niche, they're probably not going to sell because they're super saturated. But in all of them, there is opportunity when you niche down or combine them with another niche. Thanks, guys. And please, if you haven't yet, please subscribe so you can get more notifications when I release more videos like this.